Aloha headsets, Frank here, and we are back with the Frank Show. Now today, we are talking about the Oculus Quest. Now, big thanks to Oculus this past weekend. They flew me out to their annual convention, Oculus Connect 5, and boy, did I have a blast. I got to connect with tons of developers. I met the people that made the games, the hardware, Facebook people, Oculus people, VR people. It was just a wonderful, wonderful gathering. Got to hang out with all my other VR YouTuber buddies, and overall, it was an amazing trip, and I learned so much, and the big deal is I got to get my hands on the Oculus Quest. Now, what exactly is this Oculus Quest? Well, if you heard about the Project Santa Cruz last year, this is the evolution of what the Santa Cruz has become and the commercial device that will be available to consumers. Now, this thing, honestly, was really cool. I got to get my hands on it. I got to play some games with it, and I'll tell you guys all about it. Now, I sat through the day one keynote, got to see Mr. Mark Zuckerberg in person, which was pretty cool, and the coolest part was seeing all of the awesome trailers for everything coming. Now, not too much focused on software. It was really all about the Quest, all about the hardware, and all about predictions in the future of virtual reality. Now, one big thing I did take away is Oculus has an extreme dedication to pushing VR forward and creating location-based experiences, communication-based experiences, things for artists, things for creators, things for gamers, things for any and everybody. And they are really, really pushing to get more and more people into virtual reality, which is their big thing and their big spiel, in that they really see it as kind of a future technology that everybody's going to use every day, just like a cell phone, which I personally agree with as well. So it was like they were preaching to the choir. I mean, come on. But more about that later when we have an OC5 wrap-up video. Today, we're talking about the Quest. Now, the first thing I got to try, and I had to try because it was the coolest thing, was Dead and Buried Arena. Now,
for inside-out, 6-stop tracking, the mixed reality that we're working on, the spectator view, the window into VR that we're showing here. And so this, Quest is going to support room scale, but on the core tech team, we're actually between research and product, so we're always trying to push the tech a little further, and so we really blew it up into arena scale. But there are no sensors in this arena. This is all inside-out tracking using the cameras and the IMU on the headset. Tracking works best when it sees a lot of features, so you'll see there's tape markers and kind of markers, corners, right? But in your house, it's going to use the art you have on your walls, just like Hugo talked about, to essentially feature-rich room is best for
tracking. Was this room pre-scanned by the headsets or no?
So the technology is tracking and mapping, right? But I can't tell you more than that.
They had this entire setup with these little boxes with white marks all over them, and you put the Quest on, and as soon as you were in there, it was this augmented reality version of the environment. So Monica was next to me, and she was standing, and I saw her, and it was like this white and black kind of like line version, and when she moved, I could see her. So the Quest sends out all these little sensors and creates this environment around you. So as long as there's walls and there's a ceiling, it'll read every little thing and recreate that into virtual reality. Now, it's super, super basic right now. I mean, just basic shapes of people who felt really, really trippy and weird. And it has an FOV slider on the bottom, so you could slide it all the way out and have this really big field of view, or slide it in and it was a little bit tighter, more for people that really just need their eyes further apart. But I popped that baby all the way out, so it was giant, and it was so cool to see everyone. Now, when the game started, you could see these little like black and white renderings of people around you, and their bodies slowly from the ground turned into the characters of the game, and there were these Wild West characters, and all these white boxes that were all around this giant arena that we were playing at turned into boxes in the game. Now, I was able to move around, I was able to shoot, dodge, hide behind the boxes, put my arm on the boxes. I mean, it was just amazing. Like, I'm in VR, but I'm also in this whole area, and it was outside, and there were people watching. It wasn't like this tiny little like box or crazy space, and there were no sensors anywhere. It was all done just with the headsets reading each other, and the guys had these amazing iPads, and they were walking around, and without any kind of extra crazy tools, the iPads were just, it was like you were looking into virtual reality, and you could see me as like the character running around, and then see me in real life, and it was just nuts. And it showed me that the Quest is going to be amazing for location-based experiences, and it's going to kill it because it works so well. And the little, it it's basically the touch controls, except the circles are the other way, but it's got the joystick, the A/B button, the grip, the triggers, and there was a little bit of delay here and there. Stuff got frozen. There were issues, but on the whole, I could see that they have an amazing product coming, and visually, it was pretty nice. Now, it's on the same level as the Go in terms of like visual fidelity, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a tech guy like that, but it looked good. I still think the PC stuff looks better, and I still think the PlayStation stuff can look better. Some of it, I'm sure is going to look better on the Quest, but I don't think it has the same power as the PSVR, but I do think it is way stronger than any kind of mobile headset out there. No notes on battery life. It did have a rigid strap rather than a soft strap like the Go, so it felt really good putting on. It really felt like a Rift putting on. 4 little cameras in the front that kind of film everything and make sure you're going everywhere. And they said there will be a pass-through, so in the future you could have these cool, like, create your room in the system in virtual reality and pop little things from your room in the VR room so that, like, your computer would be there, your keyboard, and you could just mess with everything in you could still be in the Quest to kind of see it around. Really cool stuff here, you guys. And the coolest thing is pricing. So this is going to be $399 coming out next year, and they're going to say he had like 50+ launch titles on this baby. Now, I don't know exactly. All the devs that I spoke to, a couple of them had said that it was easy to get over to the Quest. They said, and that was a big thing about the talk. They were saying it's easy for devs to make their game on one place and put it here and put it there, and they want everything streamlined in the future, which is very cool. But a lot of the devs that I talked to hadn't received their kits yet, or they were just starting to get them, so I don't know what kind of content they're going to have at launch. They did say there's going to be a Star Wars experience with Darth Vader, which will be very cool. Moss is going to be there. I'm sure there's going to be a couple other great ones on there. Robo Recall, I think they said they were going to try to do. I mean, I enjoyed the Quest. I also got to play Super Hot, and they had this cool little beginning where you're walking down a hallway before you got into the Super Hot room with the helmet, and then you got to play basically through the first little section of Super Hot, and it ran very smooth. I mean, it was kind of glitchy a little, and it slowed down when like stopped, and they had some issues with batteries, and they were having some problems here and there. But I mean, for the first time, putting it in consumer hands, letting us all play around with it, it worked really cool. And I mean, there were lights everywhere in this place, and the tracking was pretty damn solid. Like I said, my hand kind of popped out. I had to reset my controller once or twice, but playing Super Hot felt great. It was really cool just not having any kind of wires, completely like tetherless VR. And I think that the one issue they may face when this one comes out is a lot of people might see the Go and then see the Quest, and if they don't know what they're thinking, they're going to be like, well, the Go says that it does everything, but the Quest also says that it does everything, but the Go's a little bit cheaper, so you know what? I'm a mom or a dad. I don't know too much. I'm just going to get this cheaper one, and that's what they're going to have to worry about advertisements when that time comes, but until then, I think it's something cool to look out for. Watch out, see what they're talking about. But honestly, I think it's a great device. I think it's going to be a nice entry point into virtual reality for people that want a deeper level experience than just the mobile or 3 degrees of freedom. But they don't want to have the whole console set up, or they don't want to have the whole PC set up, or they just want to be able to take it any and everywhere. They said you could be able to set up like 6 different custom spaces, and maybe you can read it so your whole house is basically the VR environment. So I think it's going to be cool. I think we're going to see some awesome stuff. I can't wait to see what the future holds, and I think that this is going to be they're calling this the end of their first generation of headsets, and this is what they've been pushing forward the whole time. So I'm excited to have it in my hands, to play around with it, to see it in your hands, to see what kind of games people make, to see what kind of location stuff comes up, because that's going to be really cool. I promise you, check out like the arenas, and it was awesome. It was that first, like, back to the first time I put my headset on and said, wow, I was like, oh my God, oh wow, and moving around and seeing, I got chills from it now. Monica loved it, and she's not even that big of a gamer, a VR head, so I mean, that kind of stuff, you know it's nuts. Everybody enjoyed it. Everyone was talking about it, and so that's it. Oculus Quest is coming out, I think, March 2019. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was just Q1, and that's what I've heard people say, for $399, and I think that is 64 gigabytes. I think it runs at 72 hertz. This is all speculative. I'm not 100% sure on this. This is what I've heard, and I'm excited to see a little bit more. Now, thank you all for coming through, you beautiful, most amazing audience in the world. Give yourselves a round of applause, thumbs up, and if you think I deserve it, then hey, you could throw me one as well. But more important than all that is that if you want to stay up to date on any and everything virtual reality, and you don't mind looking at this ugly mug, friggin' subscribe. I mean, come on, nah, smooches. Monday through Friday.
Frank Show.
Monday through Friday.
Frank Show. Body on YouTube. Body on Frank Show. Body on YouTube. Body on Frank Show.
And that's how you do an outro.
I know what else to do.